697 in 2014.
Whoa, that fucking, like, jumped up 6 times.
It jumped up exactly when everyone started, all the refugees came in, so, like, it's...
Wowie. And you just can't ignore stats like that.
Something that needs to definitely be dealt with.
Exactly. That's what's upsetting about people who are like, oh, don't be fucking racist. It's like, it's not about that. It's not about that at all. It's about the fact that this is,
Well, their culture isn't as advanced as ours. It's not as civilized. And
apparently,
I saw statistics about, because Muhammad said it was okay to, lay with your first cousin, and so I saw this on Joe Rogan's podcast. This guy brought up statistics, multiple sources about the amount of the immigrants population or whatever, the Islamic population in like England, for example. It said like 44% or something like that was the result of incest, and it was just getting worse. And then there was other studies about incest that says it could like regress your IQ like 40 points in one go. So like if I fucked my cousin, the kid might be 40 IQ points dumber. And then if them two, like if two more, if it happens again, it's like just the same. Like how long until like? And then he was equating this. Man, I can't remember his name, but he was bringing back the or he was making the point about like you look at Iran back in like the 70s or whatever, and it was just people, girls wearing short skirts and hanging on the beach and everything.
It looked like the United States in the 70s.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, some incest happens for a few generations, and I'm just like Gregorian chant,
you get fucking radical Islam, and
and they're just it's like they regressed in time, and now the women are covering their faces again, and they're Gregorian chants and like jihad, like. And
the equivalent of Gregorian chant.
Yeah. Not actually Gregorian chant, but
it is.
It's just like an old
choral music, like choir, like church choirs.
And it's just like low droning, kind of like. I don't know.
For what reason is this like it's a bad thing?
No, it's just like it's like that scene in the Holy Grail in Monty Python when those people are walking through the street making that.
Yeah.
Like shit like that, It's just. Like really, it would kind of going back into more archaic practices. It seems. It's not like compare that music to our music. That's kind of It seems like it's
my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack.
Today's lovely hits.
I know music actually kind of fucking horrifies me lately.
Well, no. You're not talking about music. You're talking about crap on that spewed at a fucking advertisement run fucking radio shows and shit. It's like the actual music isn't on the radio.
Exactly. Actual music is mostly fucking underground.
Well,
it's something that you're not going to hear on.
You have to go looking for it.
Live stream, fucking radio, media, anything. No, definitely have to go looking for it. Yeah.
I mean, that's not saying anything of like the actual handful of stations that do. Maybe a good old song will crop up.
Yeah, exactly. You get a lot of old music. That's okay. I enjoy fucking listening to like Guns, Metallica, fucking Maiden, any of that shit. But you definitely don't see any of that shit nowadays.
Not nearly as much.
Well, they're happening at like Kirk's show at the Pavilion,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, but that's never going to be on the fucking radio. I mean, hopefully it will be. I mean, that'd be.
It doesn't matter. Awesome. The radio's obsolete anyway, so it's on the internet. That's the important thing.
But that's the thing. It's like nobody's. I don't know. Nobody really is fucking taking the time out of their day to fucking just deep search into like some crazy band, which I do. I actually do, but I just like picture most people just like go to fucking like Vivo.
Shit!
Click on that highest rating.
I got some
fucking video.
Finally.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Like that's where I see our society at right now. It's like But
yeah, just like, I want to listen to whatever everyone's gonna think I'm cool for listening to.
yeah, fuck yeah, for sure. So yeah.
What did you find, Anton?
Well, I'm not sure how credible this site is, but it looks credible enough.
What's the site?
GatesstoneInstitute.org, International Policy Council.
.org.
And it seems to be written by two Swedes, so Ingrid Carlqvist and Lars Hedegaard. But yeah, stats are as follows. 40 years after the Swedish parliament unanimously decided to change the formerly homogenous Sweden into a multicultural country, violent crime has increased by 300%, and rapes by 1,472%.
Holy fuck.
Sweden is now number 2 on the list of rape countries, surpassed only by Lesotho in southern Africa. That is fucking nuts. Significantly, the report does not touch on the background of the rapists. Right, that's what I was saying earlier. No one wants to,
Everyone's so afraid of being a racist that we're not actually gonna fucking acknowledge a real issue. It's like, oh my god. That's why they just can't operate off of any absolute.
It's like, fine, don't they don't even realize the fact that they're doing what they're scared of doing.
Yeah,
they're thinking, I can't think that. That means all Muslims or Afghans or Iraq, whatever country they came from are fucking crazy violent rapists. It's like, no, treat them as individuals.
Yeah, exactly.
To the full extent of the law, that's it. You can't just be making exceptions for people just because
because they're a member of a certain group.
That's so stupid.
You're Islamic. Well, you just obviously aren't capable.
Yeah, it's like, you did this, so everybody is like this.
Justin Trudeau feels that way.
Justin Trudeau can suck my fucking rig. Justin Trudeau, get here now.
Also, another thing I can't fucking go too much into because he's the commander-in-chief, but fuck him.
Is the Prime Minister the commander-in-chief?
Yeah, well, my commander-in-chief.
Oh, okay, you talking about... Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Old fucking... I was hashtagging Justin Trudeau once on the other podcast, and the hashtag that came up was Justin Trudeau don't go breaking my heart. I'm definitely hashtagging that every time. I don't want him to do it. I had faith. I thought maybe he'd be a good one. No. But I mean, I don't know. You gotta... This hasn't been a good one. It's just, we managed to get by somehow. Fucking, it'll be over soon. We'll have some other guy to complain about.
Yeah. But in regards to Sweden, Gad Sad and Hanif Bali, the Swedish parliamentarian.
Okay.
He was literally, he was given the exact same set of horrible circumstances as all his countrymen who just got crammed into this developed place that they couldn't get any foothold in, and yet he somehow, imagine this, managed to not be resentful, and is in fact now a fucking member of parliament.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Anyway, but basically, what Hanif, the Swedish parliamentarian, was saying is that it would have been one thing if the element all the different levels of schools had 10 new little refugee students, 20, 50. But as it stands, it's like a microcosm of the country at large. 500 extra, like a student body of 2,000, 500 or more refugee students that
there's so many.
It's a recipe for disenfranchisement. It's a recipe for resentment. It's just they can't handle it.
Yeah, we don't have enough.
The stats don't seem to be lying about it either. They're just
and you have to expect that this would be the case. I mean, and in defense too to people from the Middle East, one of the guys who picked me up, Sam, this was his name. He was a truck driver, and he immigrated here as a refugee from the Middle East. He just said he was from Persia. I talked about him last time.
Yeah.
He'd been a truck driver, and he was talking about what he was running from though. Over in the Middle East, and he said these insurgents who were like Mujahideen or Al Qaeda or ISIS or whoever, they would roll into whatever town, village, place that he happened to be in, and they just have like military equipment and guns and everything, so they can just totally do whatever they want and take over. That's how they take over the cities over there, and I think that's been part of like the mission from the U.S. and Canada and Britain and everyone to train an army for the Iraqis to have, at their disposal, so that they can defend themselves against things like that. Because like if anyone tried to do that here, our military Dylan would just show up and kick your ass, and
if ours didn't, then maybe the States would, or the UK would, or whoever.
It couldn't happen here, like it does over there. Anyways, so these people would roll in and they would just be slaughtering people, like, and not in any kind of like, not that there's a cleaner ways to slaughter things, but. They would just be gutting people, and then they said there was this. He described this story of this guy who was a doctor in the village and had a good reputation, and everyone knew him and liked him, and they just took him and just absolutely disemboweled him and gutted him in front of everybody. They got everyone all together in the town, and then they found this guy's mother, and he told me that this guy's blood was all over his pair of glasses, and they handed the glasses to his mom and insisted that she lick her dead son's blood off of her dead son's glasses, or they were gonna gut her the same way. And this guy Sam, he was telling me, he was just so passionate about the story. He was like, how could somebody be doing this to another person? Like, how could he just had this bewildered look on his face, just reliving the memory in his head. Like, you could just see it. And I mean, like, I don't know how to answer that question at all. Like, how people can be evil, and it's like that's the kind of situation that they're running from hell. And so I don't know what the actual answer is. I mean, like, it's just there's so many people fleeing a situation like that. Like, it's insane, but. I can only imagine, too, that there's probably some people that are fleeing, like, not that intense of a situation and just seeing it as an opportunity to, like, trade up and come to Canada or something. Or, I don't know.
Wherever they end
Who knows what's going on. But I'm sure a lot of them are actually I'm certain that most of them must be fleeing from... Okay, I can't say that I'm certain because I don't know, but I have to imagine most of them would be fleeing from... I guess I would like to imagine that most of them are fleeing from a real hellish situation, and there's really real reason to help them.
Yeah.
And from what the Sam guy's story was, it's just like that's absolutely fucked. And that's I mean to bring that up too, because it's like this guy was a Muslim from the Middle East who was a refugee, and he was a good guy, and he has a family, and he's a good honest truck driving guy, and he's made a life for himself here, and He was very grateful to be in this country and to like be able to play by the rules here and
not get gutted.
Right. So he was a Muslim, I can only assume, and he definitely didn't seem to be a hateful jihadist of any kind.
No,
not at all.
Here's a blurb from the article. But basically, like we were talking previously about how the police and the news, the journalists are all like trying to be hush hush about the fact that the elephant in the room, I guess. This month, all major Swedish media reported on a brutal gang rape on board the Finnish ferry Amarella running between Stockholm, Sweden, and Abo in Finland. Big headlines told the readers that the perpetrators were Swedish. Okay, and these are just the headlines of local newspapers. Several Swedish men suspected of rape on the Finland ferry. 6 Swedish men raped woman in cabin. 6 Swedes arrested for rape on ferry. 8 Swedes suspected of rape on ferry. On closer inspection...
On a ferry?
Yeah, like a boat ferry. Wow. On closer inspection, it turned out that 7 of the 8 suspects were Somalis.
Like, where do you find time to rape somebody on a ferry?
I think it's a big leg. But either way, it turned out that 7 of the 8 suspects were Somalis and 1 was Iraqi. None of them had Swedish citizenship, so they were not even Swedish in that sense. According to witnesses, the group of men had been scouring the ferry looking for sex. Okay, the police released 4 of them, but they are still suspects, whereas 4... all Somalis remain in custody. The internet radio station Granskning Sverige called the mainstream newspapers Aftonbladet and Expressen to ask why they had described the perpetrators as Swedish men when they were actually Somalis. That is irrelevant, said the journalist.
What?
They were hugely offended when asked if they felt any responsibility to warn Swedish women to stay away from certain men. One journalist
What in the
asked.
fuck is
One
up